In the past decade or so, there's been a massive push to the cloud. In fact, MarkLogic's been running in the cloud since 2009, I think. We see that there's a lot of benefits to moving to the cloud, but there are some pitfalls, and I think Sara has some great examples of some of the challenges that customers can run into when they're choosing a cloud vendor.
We have customers that have been forced to get their data back by literally a dump truck of printed paper because they didn't negotiate how to get their data out of the cloud. I think many of my customers are just getting started and moving to the cloud. And there are things that we could help them with in terms of making sure that they choose a cloud neutral solution and they're able to switch technologies or different clouds as they see fit and as it makes the best business sense.
Yeah. So what do you mean by cloud neutral? Tell me more about that.
Cloud neutral really means that you have a environment set up that you can run anywhere. So if it's on premise, it'll run fine, or you can move to the cloud and choose one vendor such as Azure. And if it no longer makes business sense, then you can take that same platform and move it to a different cloud, say AWS. And so you have the flexibility to move as it makes sense to your business.
Yeah. So if there's like a short checklist of the things you should consider as a customer when you're first exploring the move to the cloud, what would those things be?
So what I would say is if you have the capability to actually work with more than one cloud vendor, that is something that you should strongly consider. What we say for being cloud neutral or ensuring that you're cloud neutral is if you have, say, a primary running in one cloud vendor and then your DR site in another, and you can actually flip those two, say, every quarter, and that would essentially ensure that you have a cloud neutral solution.
Right. And are there some other things we should worry about with licensing? I know that some database vendors will require you to get a new license if you move to the cloud later on.
Right. So ideally you pick a technology that can run anywhere, whether it's on-premise or any cloud vendor that is of your choice, and that is the best scenario. So you want to pick the technology that works well in any scenario and choose essentially the best of breed technologies. You don't want to choose a technology just because your cloud vendor offers it. Then you end up being stuck with that particular cloud vendor long past the time that you should leave.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of benefits to the cloud, but we see people kind of rushing to adopt it without thinking about some of these long-term consequences of choosing a particular vendor and the database that is running on that infrastructure. But anyways, we're going to be demoing some of how MarkLogic runs in the cloud at MarkLogic World in May in 2018. We would love for you to join us to look at how our technology works and some of the new offerings that we provide for the cloud.